So the question is, how can we best utilize all four of the primary languages of appreciation? So we know people like to be,
Mm.
some there's like the five. This one is like it's like a different version of the five love languages, and so this one I know the same
Yes.
authors they did the five languages of five love languages, and then they also did like a corporate version where it was like the five languages of appreciation. And so similarly, there's like acts of service, there's gifting, there's quality time, there's words of affirmation. And so, Rod, the question is, how can we best utilize these languages of appreciation on a widespread scale for our institution?
Awesome. And languages of appreciation, the main pillars, if I'm not mistaken, were words of affirmation, correct?
Yeah, that was one of them for sure. And then there was like acts of service, like we're doing things
Gifts.
for each other, gifting, giving each other things,
Yeah.
and then yeah, spending quality time together.
Awesome. So the core message that I want to say about this question is you don't scale appreciation by doing the same thing for everyone. So like customizability, being personalized is very important. And also, you can scale by building systems that will allow personalization. So I want to talk about the four main pillars here, which is first, words of affirmation. So this is one of the most underused. If you have a platform, a recognition platform, for example, or just a program, a manual program in place, you need to make sure that that program, bare minimum, would have a peer-to-peer recognition capability, having the ability for employees to be able to recognize each other on any sort of way. So that's one piece there. The other one is manager recognition or leader recognition. Sometimes, whenever a manager recognizes an employee, by performance, for example, it will incentivize that behavior for the employee itself. Having public recognition is super important. If you have a digital way to do this, it's amazing because you could reach, if your company size is 2,000 employees, 2,000 employees will be able to see an activity feed of all the recognitions happening. And then the other very important piece is make sure your recognition is tied to a core value. Like recognition shouldn't be random, it should be tied to the business core value. Internally at Bucketlist, our main core values are care for customers, it's raise the bar, achieve life goals, and get it done. Those are the four main core values. And every recognition that we give out in our internal platform is tied to specifically those core values. So yeah, best practice for this, make it specific, make it timely, and make it visible. Yeah. So that's like that first pillar for words of affirmation. The other important piece, gifts. Of course, any rewards and recognition program, the gifts is it's a big component. So to look at this at scale, try to avoid generic one size fits all gifts. Try to provide flexibility and choice. Becca, do you drink coffee?
No, I'm actually a tea drinker.
Okay, so if I give Becca a coffee gift card, she will probably never use it, right? Those are the kind of things that you need to look out for, right? So yeah, scaling gifts, make sure you having a point-based system is like the best way to go. It's just an easy way to manage these sort of things because it's kind of like a currency system. Have a big catalog of options, not only gift cards, have physical goods, have swag, have donation options, have even internal things. In our software, we have an ability where you could, have an item where you can redeem for PTO days. You can redeem for a pizza lunch for your team. Those sort of things, like internal things, right? And then also look for performance-based spot bonuses where targeting specific performance, like for a sales team, somebody hit quota, have a special incentive for those kind of things. So that's that pillar for gifts. The other one, quality time, which it's often one of the hardest to scale, but the most powerful ones, depending on the company size, right? But you don't scale quality time with just having pizza parties every time. That's not personal. That's not quality, I will say, right? But to scale this, it's you need to equip your managers with resources, with not instructions, but coaching opportunities where they could have one-on-ones with their team members and talk about recognition. Have a topic specifically about recognition, how your employees would like to be recognized. How are you feeling within the organization? Are you being seen? Are you being recognized? Have leadership roundtables as well. I often see this happens a lot, even on a quarterly basis, where leaders from different departments will come in together and discuss recognition as a core topic, but then also initiatives around the business and how we can improve this, how can we tackle these opportunities, gaps in the program. If you launch a recognition program today, it could easily change in 6 months, because business objectives change, the culture changes, the world changes, so you need to be able to adapt. And then also have team celebration experiences. We have weekly huddles internally where the entire company would come into a Zoom meeting for 30 minutes. We talk about special initiatives that are going, metrics, and we start every single meeting with a good news section where we highlight employees, things, news, customer news also as well, and to celebrate these sort of experiences, right? And then
Can I say
finally,
something about the quality time topic that
yeah,
you're bringing up?
of
No,
course.
I love the examples you had too. And I just also want to add a few. I feel like it's so important when like the manager is saying that like, work is important, but it's also important for us to spend time together. And so we'll have, team bonding events like once every few weeks. It doesn't have to be long and it can look like anything for your team. Like if you're, for us, for example, we work remotely. So we tend to do ours a little virtually. Like we'll take turns leading a quick little online game sesh for like 30 minutes once every 2 weeks just to make sure that we're not, just talking about work all the time, that we have that space to understand that our manager cares about us, our teammates care about us, and that we have, shared connections outside of the work that we're doing as well. So it can be, yeah, something super simple, or we've also done outings before as well. If your team time like allows for it, it's always nice to as well take a few hours, go for a coffee run or do some fun activity. We've done some like gone for like a team lunch or something outside. It's yeah, it's just I think the important part for me with the quality time is just it's
Yeah,
quality because I know that my manager cares. And that's why she's doing this. She cares about me as a person. We don't have to do anything like too fancy or too expensive. It's just nice to like know that, they care about us as, as people outside of work as well.
totally. I'll share one more thing about quality time. Something I personally do, and I believe most of the leaders here at Bucket List, but we have this one-on-one with all of our team members on a weekly basis, goal set review document, which I have with my team, where it's literally an Excel sheet and it's week over week. We look at high-level metrics, how can I help them, agenda items and to-dos, but I always leave a section on how they're doing. Like I literally ask them, how are you? How's the family? How was last week? How can I, like more personal information of the more human information, I will say. And that's the sort of things that at least my team really appreciates because we uncover things like I'm not comfortable because X, Y, and Z. And the only way somebody's actually going to tell you how they're really feeling if you ask them. So it's super important. So great point that you flagged there, Becca, about the quality time. Yeah.
I also want to share, or Brian here, he's put in a example that they have everyone take a questionnaire and they print that out so that people can laminate it and then post it on their door or on their bulletin door. Yes, Brian, please feel free to unmute
Yeah,
now.
I wish. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I wish I could upload kind of like an attachment so you guys could see what the template looks like. But yeah, we did the whole five languages of appreciation, created a nice little template. I put a picture on mine at the top, and then what we had everyone do is once they took the survey, they came to HR. They just emailed it to us.
Yes.
And then we had them put them on their doors. We laminated them for them and so forth. So it worked out really, really well. But we encourage people to come over to HR so that way they know that we're approachable, obviously, and just to kind of promote just that we notice these things and so forth. So it was really, really successful. So we have a lot of employees that put it on their doors or like me, I've got like a little plaque holder next to my door. So when people come in and so forth, they see that on there. But yeah, just wanted to mention that.
That's awesome. Can you share what types of questions were on the questionnaire?
I don't have the
Oh, all
have it
good, all
set up,
good.
but our director was the one that sent out the survey initially.
Mm,
Uh, and she went off because she has a membership, so
Mhm.
she just went through their site and then sent everyone the link and whatnot.
amazing. Well, that's a great call. There are tons of great resources online that we can just, pull and survey our folks and see what they would, yeah, what way they would like to be recognized. Thanks for sharing, Brian. That's such a, it's so cool to see that you guys did that and it worked really well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And just so that you guys know, mine was the year words of affirmation and quality time.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian, and funny that you bring that up. I actually had a call with a customer yesterday. It's a construction company. They're based in the US. It's around 2,000 employees. They printed out a little card, same laminated card, and it's for a nomination-based system that they have with our software, where literally employees would just scan that code and they're able to submit a nomination for a team member to receive that award during it's a quarterly award. So it's just so popular because it's very very easy. You just scan the code, you submit the nomination, and it goes through the system and it's visible for the 2,000 employees posted on like an activity feed. So it's super popular.
That's awesome. We're kind of toying around with some things like that. So that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah. Frontline, I will say, we have a functionality in our software to actually be able to do this. And yeah, frontline space, having that ability to scan something and simply submit a recognition, I think it's a killer feature. It's just easy to access, easy to give out a recognition. Yeah, accessibility is a big thing for frontline. Yeah. Awesome.
And Petra has a comment in here as well that Rod, I think they appreciate it because they feel that you truly care about their answers. So there's that, trust building there. So
Completely agree with that, Petra. Sometimes in our day-to-days, we forget about the most important pieces. We're all human beings. So, of course, we want that emotional attachment with our teams, right? So, yeah, super important.
amazing. And there is a question in the Q&A, just logistically speaking. Yes, we are recording the session so we can share with the folks who weren't able to make it today. So yeah, there's that. If you have to drop off early, no worries. We kind of plan it this way so people can drop in, drop out, because it's just, yeah, office hours for the hour. And Ali said that they send an email with a 4 minute, so it's super quick. People just, yeah, give their name and why they're nominating. I think that's really key too, just making it really easy for people. So it's not like they have to go through this 20-minute process every time they want to, make a nomination or recognition. And so you can spend that 20 minutes saying nice things for 5 to 10 people instead of just like one person.
Becca, do you think, because in this nomination topic, do you think I could just share our internal platform just to show how our nomination functionality works? I think it's probably a good
Yeah, go
idea.
for it. Yeah, we
Yeah.
have some time here.
Give me 1 second. Let me just open up. And for everyone watching, we're going to show you our internal platform. And we have an award called Outstanding Contributor of the Quarter. It's quarterly based. And end of the quarter, our HR team sends out a communication saying, hey, remember to nominate anybody in the company for that award. We receive all those nominations, and then a winner is selected. So one person gets an award. I believe it's worth like $500 or something. But the beauty of it is not only the winner receives the award and it's posted on our activity feed, but also all the nominations. So even though you didn't win the actual award, we still see all those amazing nominations come through our activity feed, and it's extremely powerful because that's where people start engaging, commenting, liking. We have an ability to actually boost points to recognition. So in the end, there's one winner for that award, but all the other nominations are part of this winning spree. So I'll show you
Mhm.
how this looks. Just
Yeah,
give me
for
a sec.
sure. Yeah, I think that's really cool because yeah, we know there can only be one winner. Yeah, that's the point of the award. But it is so nice to see the other people that were nominated and also like the reasons why they're nominated. So it's like such a good feeling just to see oh, oh yeah, Sarah got nominated this time because she was getting really good like customer service and 5 out of 5s all around and things like that. And then really helps feel like less siloed too, because sometimes, admittedly, I'm in the marketing department. I see marketing stuff all the time. Clearly, I know what our team's doing. For the other departments, I know a little bit less. And so seeing these nominations come in, it's so cool to see the hard work that the other departments are getting visibility for. So yeah, sorry, I'm just rambling. Go, please show your screen.
All good. Becca, if I share, you will, oh, there you go. Give me
There
one
you go.
second. Let me start sharing my screen. Uh, Can you see my screen?
Yep. I see the fun
Perfect.
little, is that the office? Yeah, the
It's the
GIF you
office.
have
Yeah.
there.
Really good scene there. Yeah. Awesome. So for everybody watching, it's a little bit of a funny moment here, but this is how our actual platform looks like when you log in. You can give out recognition. This is your activity feed over there where recognitions will flow through. We have a very nice recognition from my director of engineering. But what I wanted to touch on was the nomination functionality here. You see on the left, we click on nominations. Every employee has access to this on a quarterly basis and select the award you want to nominate someone for.
You should nominate me, Murad. No, I'm just kidding.
I will, promise. Yeah. There's two awards here, a Marketer of the Month, which is specific for the marketing team, but we have this one here, Outstanding Contributor of the Quarter nominee. We click here, and then when you hit next, you simply type in the person that you want to nominate, right? So let's say I want to nominate Becca here. I select that, and then the reason why I'm nominating Becca. You can pretty much modify all this text in here, and we can actually capture other fields. Like if you want to include a department, include a dropdown, like options, like a core value, we can do that. You hit submit, and then it's gone to a nomination list. These are all the nominations that I have personally given out myself throughout the years. And then we have a nomination list, which is kind of like a panel where our HR team will review all these nominations and then approve or deny these nominations. All this lives within the platform, and it's just an easy way. As soon as this is approved, it would then be posted on the activity feed, similar to this recognition, but it would actually show an award. The beauty of it is everything is streamlined into one software, and you don't have to go through like a Microsoft form or a Google form to do this. So it's a pretty powerful tool. Yeah,
Thanks, Rod. I saw you did nominate me for Rio in the past before, so thank you. That's very nice of you.
I did. Yes.
All right, shall we hop into the next question here? All right, this one's a little bit broader. Any ideas for holiday gifts that employees will really appreciate? I
Mm,
guess, yeah, very broad, but
yeah.
we can totally start with the idea of Employee Appreciation Day. I know your team gets really busy during this time of year because all of our clients are like, we're doing something this year, help us out with the campaign. So what are some cool things that you've seen over the
Yeah.
years for Employee Appreciation Day?
Or before I actually give you the actual the details of the specific awards, I'm gonna respond in a general way because
Yeah,
there's
for sure.
three main things you need to focus on. But firstly, holiday employee appreciation day. I pretty much say any gift, it needs to feel thoughtful, not just transactional. So alluding back to the Starbucks gift card or the coffee gift card, it needs to feel thoughtful. And the three categories that work the best that we've seen across all of our customers and pretty much any campaign, not just employee appreciation, one is choice-based gifts. So having the ability to deliver a gift where an employee can open a link, access a platform, or anything else where they would be able to pick from a lot of options. As I mentioned before, the flexibility of having different gifts, having different catalogs is super important. In our platform, for example, we're based on a point system. So you deliver like an award or even a gift card that where you could choose all of our gift card catalog. You can choose between swag. We have Amazon integration where people can actually just simply purchase an item directly from Amazon, but having that ability to choose whatever you want. A Visa gift card, which is pretty much just cash, right? Having that flexibility. And another important thing is look at your employee population If you're only based in, let's say, North America, that's fine, but think of your global teams, right? Probably a gift in North America is very different from a gift in Asia, right? So make sure you also target those. The other one is experience-based gifts. These ones are more of an experience where you could take a family, where you could take a partner, something that you will definitely remember, right? So, for example, things to tickets to events. That's a very popular thing that I've seen before. A big event happening in your city or in your location, having tickets for those events are very popular. Having gifts where you can include the family, right? If you give someone, let's say, a ticket for a museum, right? Just one person, that's not, it's not thoughtful, right? But if you give them four tickets for the partner and the whole family, those are the kind of things that are going to create that experience, experience, being on a family.
And I know a lot of
Dining,
these rod are they range in price, right? Like some are very expensive. So if you have the budget, by all means, like do it. But then what are some of the more like free or cheaper options that you've seen land really well with clients giving it stuff to their employees?
of course. So whenever you have a personalization, like an actual letter or a message written by the manager, technically, that's free, right? Meaning it's just some time from the manager to send over a gift with, you can add a piece of swag, right? Then also smaller things like a PTO day, it's super. And the reason why you're giving out that PTO day, spend time with your family. Just the messaging itself versus, hey, take a vacation day. Hey, this is a PTO day, so you could spend time with your family. It lands completely different, right? So that's the thoughtful piece of a gift.
The marketer in me is so happy when you say it like that, Ron. It's like, yeah, it's always in like the messaging, the framing, because it's like you're pointing out like, oh yeah, here's a day off, but like, oh, I know that spending time with your family is super meaningful, and so just adding that phrase, it just makes it really feel like, oh, I'm being seen, I'm being heard. Like Rod knows what I care about, and so that's why he's given me this as like a
Exactly.
recognition or like a reward. Yeah.
Exactly. The messaging is it's a key piece there. You can also just give a Visa gift card, but if you say this is for you and your family for groceries, this is for you to have a nice dinner, it's just the messaging that would change also the experience itself.
hmm Also, I'm noticing a few new friends are popping in and out, so I'll just do like my quick spiel again. So if you've kind of just hopped in the last few moments here, welcome to Rod's office hours. We are expecting people to drop in and out depending on, the questions being asked and their schedule for the day. So no worries at all. I have allowed everybody to talk, so if there's at any point you'd like to say something, just use the raise hand function and I'll definitely hit unmute or yeah, I'll call on you to share your piece. And if Rod is giving an answer, feel free to pop follow-up questions into the chat or just raise your hand and ask them. Like we really want this to feel like a conversation. And so we yeah, love the engagement. And so if there's anything you would like to share, like feel free to join in. Oh, and Rod, Petra in chat said that 2 years ago, we launched appreciation policy on Employee Appreciation Day, and it's been received really well by all our employees.
Having an appreciation policy, that's amazing, Petra. And I will say it's not very common, and it sounds like your company has good alignment on what the importance of recognition. Because often we see companies would launch a recognition program with just thinking it's a way to give out recognition. That's it. But it's so much bigger than that. So no, that's great to hear, Petra.
Yeah, if there's any other details, Petra, you'd like to share about, roughly what that entails, I'm sure folks here on the chat will be super curious to hear what policies they can think about implementing just to show their employees that, yeah, the company really cares.
Yeah. Hi. Yes, absolutely. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you
Yes,
loud and
Yes.
clear.
So I
thank you.
know this was a very vague, and also when you say policy, it's like, oh my gosh, okay. And yes, I do think the reason why it was celebrated or it landed well, it's because it wasn't one of the like tick a box kind of exercises or to say, okay, here's a policy and we're telling everyone how to appreciate each other. But it was much more of we actually really went on kind of like a listening tour to what people really want. And I mean, it's really it's not a rocket science. The policy has two things, because we're not the day-to-day recognition. That's something that we talk about continuously, but this policy, it's based on everyone's tenure, where if you're with the company for a certain amount of time, you're recognized with a appreciation bonus. So there's a monetary component, and with a certain number of extra PTO days. So it's exactly what Rodrigo was saying, that there is that component of that time to yourself or time with your family.
Petra, and you said something that I really loved, and that's really important whenever you build these sort of programs, is you listened
Mhm.
to your employees, so and you actually action something based on that feedback from staff members. So that's great, for sure.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks for sharing. And I think Jennifer was just about to ask if you would be willing to share. So I think you answered Jennifer's question really beautifully there as well. Yeah, no, I think it's great that when there's like a policy in place, it just really shows that this is something the company is committed to.
Yeah.
And I think it's also cool that it standardizes, because then you know exactly what to expect and when, and it's just kind of all out there. It's kind of like how you were talking about, sending out gifts and gift cards. It's like, yeah, everyone can get, $20 towards
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
marketplace, and they can pick the things that are more meaningful to them, but it's not like someone's getting $50 and not someone's getting like $20 to go off and do something.
Exactly. And it's a tangible resource for an employee to actually
Mhm.
access, and they're aware of that, that extra effort of having that documentation even just in place so that the employee could exactly know what they would expect of this. Those are the kind of things that are thoughtful, from a company.
Yeah.
The
And
company takes care of me. And that's the
yeah,
messaging with these sort of things.
totally.
Yeah.
And then it's something that obviously they would put into the onboarding guide as well. So from day one, the new people also know that this is kind of like the culture of the company, this is the vibe. You can really tell what the company cares about and what they emphasize on based on like the benefits that are giving people.
Yeah.
We
And
actually, so I'm sorry to jump in, but we actually have
Yes.
it even on our job postings now listed. So it starts even
Yes.
yeah.
pre-hire, like already during the hiring process. We leverage that.
Oh, that's amazing. So people can see, like, even the prospective candidates coming in, they
Mhm.
know exactly
Mhm.
what you care about and how they'll feel valued once they get in.
Yeah.
Bertrand, you read my mind because I was about to say something about this, but right now, like nowadays, with everything going on in the world, culture, taking care of employees, it's a massive theme, right? So if you're able to input this type of information, like we have a recognition program, we provide wellness days, like a big benefits package, not only a salary, right?
Mhm.
Having that on your career site, it's the kind of things that even it's good for the brand. It shows that the company really cares for the employee, and that's where you're going to have really good quality hires coming into your company, and also people that are going to stay for long. Our turnover in bucket list is ridiculously low because I will say, and thank you to our HR team, our culture is insanely good. Of course, we actually sell a software to improve culture, but it's since the day you have the first interview, we've actually been interviewing a couple of candidates. They always ask that question, like, why are you here at Bucketlist for so long? It's a software company. Turnover is actually pretty high in tech, but it's because of the culture. 50% of the reason most of our employees are still with us, it's not. It's the culture, all the way from our CEO down. So, yeah.
It really starts from the top.
Yeah.
All
Mhm.
right. Are you ready for the next question there, Rod?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right. This one is we're getting into the more like industry specific questions. So folks in the listening in here, if there is if you would love to share your industry that you're in, we can try and see if Rod can pull some examples from similar clients that he's seen there. But yeah, so this particular question is about the manufacturing industry. And so, Rod, from our manufacturing clients, what ideas do you have for showing appreciation to hourly employees? And it tends to be a male-dominated manufacturing business other than lunches, etc. That's the
Yeah.
question.
Great question. Great question. Eh, in manufacturing environments like frontline staff, Appreciation works best when it's practical, meaning you don't have to sit down in front of a computer, log in, SSO, forgot password, all that. It's practical. Actually, Brian's example of scanning a code, those laminated cards, is the perfect way to have these sort of programs in place for that sort of industry. But yeah, just going back, being practical, visible, and earned. Sometimes the fluffiness, the nice message and all that, it's not really cared for. It's just the practicality. But what I've definitely seen, and this is from core values that I've seen in frontline companies, campaigns specific around those core values is respect. That's a big one, where recognition targets or it's tailored to the respect of the employee, respect of their time, respect of their commitment, right? Having practical rewards, cash, as simple as that, a Visa option, MasterCard option, PayPal option, something that they could quickly cash out, go to a grocery store, that convenience, and also the immediacy of being able to cash something out whenever they clock out of their shift. Another big one, safety acknowledgement. And I'm pretty sure most frontline, like manufacturing companies, safety, it's one of the top priorities, right? 30 days without an incident. So when you have campaigns around safety, spot awards whenever, zero incidents after 30 days, the entire team receives some sort of award, right? And also acknowledging staff members. I've seen some recognitions, and that's why I love my job because we're able to actually log into to customer platforms and read through those recognitions. Some of them are really powerful. Like we've seen recognitions where an iron worker saying thank you for saving my life. It's like, wow, those are the kind of moments that are going to live with you forever. As even me, I am not even part of the company, right? So yeah, safety acknowledgement is a big campaign. Public credibility. Oh, yeah, I think somebody probably said something. Or no, never mind. Public credibility. Frontline companies tend to be pretty big. Most of our frontline companies, manufacturing companies, are north of 1,000 employees. So having that public credibility, it's something that's going to resonate a lot with that industry. So just as you saw in our internal platform, having an activity feed where people would be able to recognize, and the entire company can actually see that public acknowledgement, it's super powerful. And then finally, I would probably say autonomy, meaning the employee doesn't have to rely on somebody else to receive a recognition to be able to cash something out. So having that ease of use within your program, having that ease of use, they don't have to contact somebody to see what's going on. Practical, quick, having that ability is super, super important. Yeah.
Amazing. I feel like you give a really holistic answer for that one because you shared, I'm gonna see if I can parrot it back to you because a lot happened. But you shared that first of all, whatever campaign it is you're running in manufacturing, make sure it's super visible so that people know that it's happening. And also that it's really accessible so that it's easy for them to quickly take part in it and feel that appreciation. And then in terms of actual gifts, you're saying that yeah, lunches are nice. And then if you are looking for additional things to give, they really prefer practical gifts and
Exactly.
yeah, like cash or like items. I think you mentioned a few, but
Yep.
the cash one is very interesting, especially like gift cards to essentials, like lifestyle essentials. I know we get a lot of comments from users, like the employees themselves saying that like, oh yeah, I was able to redeem my points for like a gas card or like groceries, and that really helped my family out this week because totally we're seeing that economics, where sometimes money's a little tight. And so if the employer is able to offer these rewards to kind of yeah feed the essentials that people have to buy, it's always like really greatly appreciated as well. But yeah, sorry, Rod, I know you want to add on to what I was saying.
No, exactly. That practicality piece. And in the end, it's manufacturing is a very hard, labor intensive job. So the only thing you want is to go home, provide to your family, be in a really good environment. So that practicality is the big piece of that. And strategy wise, like gifts, practicality, something quick, but also impact strategies for manufacturing. As I mentioned, safety recognition, I would say it's number one priority probably. Skill-based recognition. So basically, if anybody got a certification on something, having bonuses for those kind of things, right? Uh, Equipment operators, for example, recognition specific to the equipment operators. It's a very tough job. You need to have a certification,
Mm,
which is expensive, right? So
yeah.
that and having visible performance. We have a leaderboard in our internal software. Sometimes that competitiveness, it actually helps a lot, especially in the frontline space.
I love that you're also adding on to like, beyond Employee Appreciation Day, here are some tangible things you can consider for
Exactly.
manufacturing workers. So, no, I love that. And yeah, to your point, peop in any industry, whenever there's like a certification or like extra credentials you can get, that's a lot of time and effort. And so being able to be shouted out for that and acknowledging that time they spent and this expertise they have is, I think it's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. And ultimately, like in the end, it's we're the visibility piece. Like if an employee does something for the company, for the role, they're being seen, they're being acknowledged. And that's the important piece in recognition. In the end, it's a human emotion, right? Recognition, it's a human emotion, right?
Totally. Let's go into the comments here. We've got some juicy bits in here. Alexis. Yeah, Alexis. At any time, feel free to unmute if you wanted to add on to this, but I'll just quickly shout out what you said here. But yeah, so Alexis is in government, and so it can be hard to give gifts. Yeah, Rod, there's a bunch of different industries that we see where gifting is a tougher thing. But yeah, so for milestone anniversaries, they give a personalized note from the president and the CEO. Staff with 5+ years get a letter and a personalized video. And yeah, there's lots of different, sorry, gifts and oh sorry, my thing just ran away. Okay, here we go. And they become a legend with a capital L. So that's like another like a title pedestal thing that people can definitely strive for. And then every year we hold a legend luncheon and celebrate all those employees that have been there for over 25 years.
Yeah. Alexis, thank you for sharing that. We have multiple government entities using our software, and yes, they cannot give out a gift. They cannot give out a gift card or even some sort of Amazon integration. What we've seen work really well is actually giving swag pieces, but since they're internal for it's not actually a gift. It's part of the company. It could be even thought of a tool, right? Plaques are very popular. I've seen that.
Mhm.
A plaque when you retire, a plaque with your name, the logo, and a message from the CEO land really well. Also, plaques for anniversary milestones. You hit your 15 years with a company, you receive that. And then high quality swag. We have some really good quality offerings with a swag integration that we have, but I've seen some swag pieces from customers that even though it has their logo, I would 100% wear a jacket. It's kind of like a bomber jacket, beautiful, because it feels that kind of like a status thing. You got this ultra exclusive jacket because you joined this new club, those kind of things. So that's a very popular option.
Yeah,
I agree.
you
Swag. That's
stop.
cute. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go
No,
ahead,
I
Melissa.
just wanted to agree. It's just so hard. You have to become very creative with,
Fair.
showing the appreciation. So with like our milestones, it's been people actually appreciate getting that personalized, like you said, personalized card and video where he like actually like uses facts. So it's like they show their families these videos from the president, talking about them. And then once you hit 25+ years, we have about 18 employees that are been here over 25 years, which is
Wow.
crazy. But we celebrate them every year and all staff get together to celebrate them. And we actually implemented, we're going to give them a patch that says BPCA legend, and they put it on their their jacket, so like they do stand out. But we also rely a lot on swag, so that's very true.
Yeah. Exactly. And even they receive the swag piece, yeah, of course, something they can take away. It's something they're going to be feel proud of. But having that publicly posted on an activity feed, even LinkedIn, those are the kind of things that they could take away to another company. It's a merit that they've actually earned. So
And I think the video idea is so sweet. Like I've
yeah,
never received a video like that. So if I did, I think that would be, yeah, something saved to my folder, backed up to the cloud forever, and rewatch it all the time. So that's very special. And Brian, our friend Brian here, he has found the five languages of appreciation quiz that they send out. Thank you for digging that out, Brian. I know it was probably buried somewhere, so we really appreciate that.
Yeah, I knew it was somewhere out there on our shared drive for HR. So I just had to do a search. But yeah, it's a sample of some of the questions, and then we used a key to to gauge what language each person was, and then just in case anybody's wondering what bilingual is when you have your two highest numbers match up. So like if you have two fives or something like that, and that's your highest score, that's what bilingual is in the five languages of appreciation.
Amazing. Thank you. And this is such a powerful exercise too, because I feel like a lot of people don't think about this for themselves. And so even going through this quiz, I'm sure they've learned a lot about the way that they like to be recognized and how they feel valued. So no, this is a really cool initiative that your company did.
Yeah, I agree.
We're all taking pictures.
Yeah, I'll see if I
That's the
can
idea.
actually. Oh, sorry, Rod, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's the idea of this session, that we all take away some really good learnings from this.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and save this chat and see if I can put together some resources that folks can take away afterwards. Got to put Brian's hard digging to use. All right. Oh,
If
and it,
anyone, I was going to say, if anyone wants a copy of it or something like that, just hit me up on LinkedIn and stuff. It's under Brian Ponce, Ponce, and I'll be more than happy to share it that way. And then I'll show you kind of what the template looks like that we used for us. So happy to share.
thanks, Brian. I will take you up on that offer. Right, a few questions here from Jennifer and Ali has something along the similar vein, Rod, so I'll ask them to you as one question. So, is there any tips and tricks for a small 100% remote organization? And Ali's is like, yeah, would love to just hear more about remote engagement in general when it comes to recognition
Yeah.
and culture.
And the perfect example that we could have for you is actually us, Bucketlist. We're fully remote, a smaller growing organization, but um, having definitely a rewards and recognition program where you can access it online, I would 100% encourage you to explore that option. You can give out recognition in MS Teams, in Slack, but in the end, you need something dedicated for that specific need, being able to reach out to the entire company, being able to provide rewards that are, having the ability to pick from a big catalog, and then also the visibility piece. Most software companies that implement our software will also have things like having visibility on the departments, even subunits of the departments, because often we would see a recognition come through. If it doesn't have any visual identification saying that it's from the sales department, it's very hard to track down where it came from. So it's just good for context for everybody to see that sort of engagement. The other one, have curated awards based on teams. You could have Employee of the Month award, which is great. You could still have that, but it's very generic because, for example, our engineering team, they do such an amazing job. They work really hard hours. They release product in record time, and nobody sees these sort of things. Versus an AE would go in and actually close a sale, the entire company would find out. Why? Because yes, it's money, but no recognition is better than the other one. It's just different departments. So for a remote organization, I will always recommend to actually have a specialized campaigns and awards per department, right? That way it's not generic, especially for a remote environment, right?
And it's very specific to the work that we do too, because what product is measured against and what they need to get done is very different from what we need to get done in marketing team. So I know for us, we had like for example, like an AI wizard award, because once we know when AI was first starting, we're like, oh, we should challenge ourselves. How can we incorporate AI into like our into our workflows because it's one of those things where it's like if we're not gonna use it, we're just gonna, fall behind. And so there was like a specific award for specific actions that our manager, for example, really wanted us to be like think the direction she wanted us to be like thinking about. And so we were getting shout outed for these specific behaviors that the company really wanted to see. So I agree
Yeah,
with you, Rod. It should definitely be department specific and to the goals that you're doing, so we can all see if we're aligning well and be shouted out for the contributions that we're making.
exactly. In a remote environment, like recognition, visibility is important. And by visibility, I mean everybody being able to see that you have been recognized. That's very powerful. But in a remote environment, you have to be very specific on what the recognition is, where did it came from, because of course you're remote. You're not one-on-one with the person itself. So
And there's room to be fun too. Like I know the engineering team has like a bunch of really fun names for like the projects they
yeah.
do and things like that, and just really helps that camaraderie and feeling like engaged. And as someone who's like not part of that team, whenever I see it pop up, the project name, I'm like, what is that? I am keen to ask more questions and see what they're up to.
I'm always asking questions, what are their campaigns and their names? Because yeah, they're pretty tricky sometimes.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Can I just have one quick
Of
question and maybe
course.
comment? Because
Yeah.
I'm also from like a, well, somewhat remote, somewhat hybrid, depends on when, and also like geographically distributed company.
Mhm.
So I think one thing that maybe I would also love your insight on, or have you worked with, is, and it's an important topic of like being culturally aware of where people are, and not to stereotype into like, oh, you're from this country, hence you want to receive recognition in a certain way, but more to really be mindful that that it does, like it does change maybe how people want to be recognized.
Yeah.
There are certain patterns that change when it comes to different cultures, and how to address that maybe.
Yeah. Great question, Petra. And yeah, we hear that a lot. Most of our customers have global teams. And as I mentioned before in a previous example, recognition in North America probably is completely different to recognition in Asia, for example, right?
Mhm.
So that global equity, I think it's extremely important, right? Equity doesn't mean it has to be identical, right? It means that everybody should have equal access to feeling valued, right?
Mhm.
They're able to recognize in North America, but also in Asia with equal, with the same amount of value, right? So, for example, the teams that receive digital recognition, it's probably completely different teams that receive frontline recognition. So, having able to track that down is really important. The delivery method can differ. There's people that rather have a private recognition versus public recognition. It could be a cultural thing, or it's just be a human thing, right? And we've seen a lot of companies actually ask those questions during onboarding of a new staff member. Part of the requirements that they need to do, like add all of their fields in their HRS, add their address and everything. How do you like to be recognized, publicly or privately? Those kind of insights that you could gather from employees are really important. And then for managers, in one-on-ones, having the ability to talk about that, right? Have questions related to how they like to have a recognition, how they like to receive rewards as well. It's really important because having that feedback from your employees, like even impact poll surveys every 6 months, how do you like to receive recognition, publicly or privately? What type of rewards would you like to look for, right? And that's where you're going to be able to start customizing your approach based on the feedback.
Thank you, that's great.
Amazing. We are coming to the top of the hour, so I think we do have time for one last question if anybody wanted to pop on the chat or in the Q&A. And in the meantime, while people are doing that, there are a couple other comments in the chat, Rod, that we can totally go through. So Valerie, oh, I think this is a at Alexis question, at Alexis comment that, yeah, Valerie totally understands because there isn't a huge, but don't, actually, there is no budget for gifts and milestones, just like a pin and a certificate. And so the lunch idea would be great at the end of the year to celebrate everyone. So Alexis, kudos on that idea. Then yeah, comments that from Alexis that everyone does appreciate and love getting together with colleagues. And so if that's something you want to consider for this Employee Appreciation Day and beyond, that could be a good avenue to go to. And yeah, Valerie just mentioning that one of the ideas mentioned prior is yeah, a great one. Cool. Awesome. I don't see any other Q&A. So, Rod, was there anything you wanted to add before we, excuse me, wrap up for the day?
Yeah, I think maybe the core themes that we chatted about today, yeah, employee appreciation day or any other campaign, culture is a very important component in any company. So let's think about that. Recognition is a very human part of the human psychology. So also that's extremely important. And we've heard a lot of comments today about listening, about feedback. Make sure you do, your pulse checks every 6 months to better understand what your employees want, how they want to be recognized, seen, because that's the way where you're going to have a really successful program in place and a very successful culture. And that's exactly what we do internally in Bucketlist. Employees do have a voice, and I think that's a very important piece for everyone for us to take away. And it was a great session. Thank you for everyone that has contributed. Brian, thank you for all those things that we're probably going to take away. Yeah, but no, it was a great session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. And yeah, I have a QR code here if anybody is interested in Bucket List at all, or yeah, curious to see how you can use the platform that we're talking about to scale recognition. We're just running a quick, like a really fun campaign for Employee Appreciation Day where you hop on for a quick demo of the platform and we'll send you $100 to spend on your team for Employee Appreciation Day. So hopefully we'll see some of you there. But yeah, thank you so much for joining in and for engaging with us. I'll probably send out an email afterwards as well to ask how you thought about this format so we can optimize it for next time. But no, thank you so much for all the questions, all the comments, and all the off mic sharing. That was very inspiring.